Hey everybody, it's Marco again. I am doing a first reaction on Disney's Moana. So over the weekend I had some time, obviously in quarantine, just like everybody. I gave this a watch because it's been on my hit list of Disney movies to watch, and sure enough, now it's the time. I definitely have listened to the soundtrack, it was also one of those movies where I heard the soundtrack a lot before actually watching the movie. So it was also kind of nice to kind of watch the movie with the songs in context, and I go, oh, okay, that makes sense. So to kind of give a brief summary of Moana, what it's about, it's a story of a girl named Moana who, much like a lot of Disney princesses or that kind of archetype of that character, she wants, the ocean calls to her. There's something out there, something more, just like every other Disney princess. They want more. But her duties kind of lie with her tribe, and she's a part of like the Polynesian Islanders, that sort of thing. And the story talks about Maui, kind of the demigod Maui, and a lot of the Polynesian kind of mythologies, that sort of thing, which is pretty interesting. And how Maui, who's played by The Rock. I know his name's Dwayne Johnson, but he's The Rock. I don't care. So how, the mythos of his adventure stealing the heart of the ocean, I think, or not, I don't think it was the heart of the ocean, but it's like the heart of Gaia, or their equivalent of Gaia. I don't remember what her name is. Sorry, I'm not being inclusive. Anyway, so it tells the story of Moana being this chosen person to kind of return the heart to that Gaia figure with the help of Maui, and kind of the adventures from there. I would say the songs, as I mentioned before, are very good. I would say probably even catchier than, say, Frozen or Tangled or anything like that. As good as, like, and here's kind of a side thing, like, I honestly felt that Frozen was a good movie. I don't think the songs were that amazing. Like, I think Let It Go is a good song, but I think Let It Go just got overplayed and just beaten to everybody's heads, and it just got sickening. Like, after I watched the movie and like getting the context of it, I go, okay, yeah, it makes sense. But like compared to like the songs here, I think they're a lot better. I generally also like The Rock's song in the movie, the You're Welcome. And I remember when people first heard the song, they kind of were criticizing it because, it's The Rock singing it, and it's like, oh, The Rock can't sing. And it's like, well, it's not really a belt out like a Let It Go or something like that, where he's got to do his whole vocal, exercise and stuff like that. It's kind of a sing-songy, kind of a spoken word sort of sing-songy kind of beat to it, and it works. And honestly, and he sells it, and it's very entertaining. If anything, I kind of find myself humming that song a lot compared to like any other Disney song of recent memory. The animation is very good, and it also some of the water effects, like because they're out in the ocean a lot, is actually really beautiful. Like the nights, like a lot of that stuff is actually really cool. There's not a whole lot of characters in the movie. It's because a lot of the movie is just Moana and Maui, and just kind of, but it's not even, and what's also kind of nice, it's not really like a romantic thing. It's more of a student mentor kind of thing, because Maui kind of teaches Moana how to become this pathfinder, because it turns out that as time goes on, Moana learns that, the Polynesian people, they are island people, but they also travel. They also go to other islands, and kind of, they spread and stuff like that, which is cool. That's what she discovers, and she finds her purpose in her life, because that's kind of what it was, her calling. Now it's, that more she's looking for. And as it progresses, they come across certain things. There are some some of the critiques I would have to say is, for example, like any Disney princess, they always have a animal sidekick, whether it's Pocahontas and the raccoon, Sebastian and Ariel, but Mulan and the dragon, Mushu. Moana has Hey Hey, which is her idiot chicken, which I kind of don't like. I get the joke is that, okay, he's a dumb chicken that kind of gets into trouble, but it's also kind of like, I don't really think he doesn't really have like a personality. It's just a dumb chicken, a dumb looking chicken. Granted, Moana also had like a pet pig that was on the island before she started sailing, and I kind of thought like the pig would have been like her sidekick in the series, in the whole movie, but like obviously that's not the case. But besides that, and then there's also a scene where they come across these pirates, but they're not really pirates. They're not people. Let's say that. What they are, they're actually like little coconut people, which is kind of interesting because they almost look like Shy Guys from like Super Mario, like the little red people with like the white masks and like the black eye holes and stuff like that. So during that scene, like there's it's a fun little action scene to try to like get away from them, but then they just never come back and they're really not expanded upon. And I assume there's some sort of Polynesian mythology behind that, like what the hell they are and what they're doing and stuff. So that kind of just gets swept under the rug. But as I said, the two of them, Moana and Maui, as I said, that pretty much kind of keeps this whole movie afloat, pardon the pun. And they're very entertaining. As I said, they have that student-teacher dynamic. And then when, Moana kind of, when the movie ends, it's kind of, standing up to what you believe and like what you're destined to be and that sort of thing. And for the most part, it's very, as I said, it was very touching, and it was actually it was very well done. I would say I walked out of this movie more impacted than I would say Frozen, really. And even though Frozen actually, I kind of like that, everybody mentioned like with the twist about like it's just true love. It doesn't mean a romantic love. It's just a love between two people and whatever. That's fine. And with this movie, as I said, very much it's just, kind of finding your purpose in life and and going forward with it no matter what people tell you to do. Yeah, so I would say for the most part, I would say maybe, what would I rate this? I would say a 4 out of 5. I would say it's well done, very well animated. Some of the jokes work pretty well. As I said, Hey, the sidekick animal, probably not my favorite. And also, as I said, the little pirates are not, they weren't really expanded upon. And actually, that's kind of an interesting thing, too, about this movie is that it doesn't really have a villain, which I guess is kind of nice. Like, there is a monster that they have to deal with at the end, but there's no, like, villain. There's no Scar. There's no, Kristoff or whatever. There's no overarching villain that's kind of lurking in the shadows, which is actually kind of nice because I think for this kind of movie, it would make no sense as to, like, why they would have this character. But I would say, and as I said, musically, I think the songs are probably a little better than, say, Frozen or Tangled or something like that. But yeah, I would say give it a watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the soundtrack actually is very good. I'd say a lot of the songs are actually very good. But I would say, yeah. Thanks for listening to my first reaction to let's try that again. So that's my first reaction on Moana. Tune in for more firsts from me and Locke. And then tune in for our big shows on Fridays, just whatever we're rambling about. But yeah, check you later. Be safe, guys. Bye.